when I was growing up, I didn't grow up on WCW. That's the problem. But I certainly knew enough about it. And there were certain wrestlers in it that I enjoyed, i.e. Sting. I really like Sting. I like watching him and anything that was going on with him and Flair and the Horsemen and stuff like that. So I'd always had one eye on it, but my sort of main first passion was the WWF. But yeah, I'm certainly open to going back and looking at some of those shows because it's particularly interesting when you compare what was going on at the time when I was watching WWF and how they were doing it. Matt, for you, were you a total WWF guy, or did you ever go on to the WCW and have a little bit more passion there for them at any time?
Oh no, we're pretty similar with that. I definitely grew up on the WWE.
Yeah.
That was where Hulk Hogan as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was everywhere. So
Yeah.
he was the company figure that drew me in, I guess. But
Sure.
once I was there, people like Macho Man and everything, Bret Hart kept me there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, stayed with that. But yeah, every so often when you had Raw on or whatever, you'd flick the channel over
Yeah.
the adverts, of course.
Yeah, of course. It was a good time back in the late 90s to, you had two lots on the same night. It was incredible. And of course, I hope you got your booking cap on here, Matt. How again? This was really funny because I actually messaged or spoke to Matt in the week, and I said, I don't know if I've dreamed this, but I think I sent you a link with an official promo of Matt Hardy, and he's coming back. He's doing the broken gimmick. It turns out I didn't send that video because I went back on the conversation that we'd had for our Facebook, and I must have just dreamt it. But obviously it's been going on, Matt. I wasn't just dreaming it out of nowhere. And again, at a recent house show, Matt, he started to do what he was doing on Raw. And again, we've heard about Anthem pulling out. They're not too fussed anymore. Don't blame them, to be honest with you, because they got enough of their own problems with TNA, I think. But first of all, Matt, before we give a fantasy booking here, do you think this is it? Is this actually it, or is this again another tease, and we're gonna be sorely let down here on this one?
This has to be it, surely. I mean, I could not fathom a logic into where teams exist and not deliver now. I mean, I think Matt Hardy has come as far as he can get under the Team Extreme kind of gimmick. Yep. And I think, if they weren't to do anything along the lines of him losing his mind a bit, they would be a bit missing a great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like the Dudleys when they come back. You felt like, well, there was some mileage in them, but I was thinking, come on, break Bubba off and be Bully Ray, like he was doing TNA. That would have done well for me in WWE, but they never did that, did they? But listen, Matt Hardy, I mean, people, they want to see it. They love doing it. I just hope they haven't. I hope they haven't sort of like what's the word? Watered it down, Matt, through doing all these teasing and Matt Hardy keeping the same hair and doing the delete stuff. And I just hope it's like when it does come around, it's going to be fresh. They've got to be really careful with it because you don't want it to burn out, because this is something that's been going on for ages, and we thought at WrestleMania, okay, they're going to come out as the Hardys, but it won't be long before they start planting the seed for the broken gimmick. That hasn't happened as quick as I'd like, or certainly the seeds haven't been planted early enough. Matt, fantasy booking here, how would you play this one? Matt Hardy here, going forward as the broken Matt gimmick or the woken Matt, whatever it's going to be. How would you play it for him?
Oh, this is incredibly difficult now, because when we were talking about this beforehand and he was still in DNA, we were saying, Bray would be...
Yeah, I want to see that now.
But no, with the way they booked Bray, it's kind of like... I'm so sad to say it, but I don't want to see Bray in any kind of high quality match like that, where it's just going to be him talking a load of stuff that's so inconsequential. Difficult. Maybe I'd put him along the lines of someone like Finn Balor these days, because he's still got that mysterious kind of supernatural edge to him. Maybe something like that. Or if there was to move shows, I'd love to see how Randy Orton would deal with someone like him. Orton's not exactly one to put up with anyone like him.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I suppose the thing is, will people cheer him? Will they want to boo him and all the rest of it? I'm guessing, Matt, he's going to be a baby face here, just through the way people are loving him. Of course, now in TNA, he started very much as a heel, and people actually like me were thinking this is a joke, it's a wind up. But in the end, you start to appreciate what he was doing, the fact that he was staying in character. He even done interviews, podcast interviews, staying in character, which is great. It's kind of an art that's been lost. So, I think he'll be committed with it. Now, the one thing you want, listen, I don't really have a preference to the way they book it, but I will say this. Matt Hardy had a lot of say in TNA about all those videos he was doing. He done most of them with one of his friends. So the only thing I'll ask is that WWE do the same with him here. They give him enough room to be creative, and you don't get some bloody script writer doing it for him, because that would just be a joke. So as long as they give him a little bit of leeway, I think this could work. And I mean, to be fair, this could be the perfect timing, because in a sense, WrestleMania just around the corner. If he gets hot now, there could be a big match in store for him at WrestleMania, perhaps. There could be a big angle for him going at here. So if this works out, and this thing picks up again, but in the WWE, merchandise and everything else, this will be through the roof. As long as they do it properly, and as long as they let Matt have some say into this, because I think that's one of the most important things here. But what you don't want to see is WWE take total control over it, and they give what they think the perception is of Broken Matt and all the rest of it, and it just sort of comes out as a load of nothing. So I think as long as they give Matt enough creative here on this one, I think it'll be fine. Anything to add to that, Matt, before we move on?
No, I think you're spot on there. I think it would be great if, like you said, they let Matt have the creative responsibility on that. Then, I'll be looking forward to it. And, seeing as like Jeff can't be far off due back now, him getting involved in that will also be great. And looking at it the way that it is, it looks like the Shield will be the tag team champs, so that would be an interesting competition.
Yeah, totally. Okay, Joe now, and he's got a question. Is it me, or does it seem like every time the cruiserweights come out, it's like sending the kids out, and it's also like sending the fans away to go and pick up something to eat? What's your thoughts? Is this going to get any better? It does seem like that sometimes. Like, let's just throw the kids out and give them something wacky and fast, and that sort of tells the fans to go and go and get a hot dog or whatever, or a drink before the next match. But then listen, I think it's been like that for a while. I mean, Matt, we went to Raw a few times. I mean, to you, Matt, is anything really changing on that? Because one thing I've heard is they're going to scrap 205 next year anyway, and they're going to have something else there. So that doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. The whole cruiserweight, Matt, let's be honest, it's pretty diabolical, isn't it? It's not done anything. And the title, I mean, Enzo's doing a good job, but again, it reminds me of how the women used to be booked. I mean, this is just, it's not great stuff. And I think we had a question a few weeks ago who really explained it on the spot, Matt, and he said, everybody does the same moves now, and the cruiserweights aren't as special as they used to be because some of the bigger guys are doing those moves. So they haven't even got their own style anymore. And in any case, WWE only let them go a certain mileage anyway. So I just think it's flawed, Matt, in that way. I really do. I don't think it's like the WCW cruiserweights where, that was very new at the time, and they had a whole, array of talent. You had Rey Mysterio, Hoot and Toot Guerrera, Psychosis, and all these Justin Thunder Liger, all these guys in there, and then of course you had like the really heavy storyline stuff like the NWO. I don't think that's the same anymore, Matt. Do you?
No, definitely not. And especially when you watch 205, and the reason for that being a whole division is it's supposed to be exciting, and it's supposed to be, these people can do things that others can't. But even within that, they can't stick to those stories because they have people like Drew Gulak coming out going, no, high flying, and everything. So it's like, what is it then? Because
Mm.
there's apparently people on there that aren't based around that and have different skills, which I do respect. I do respect people like him and people like Brian Kendrick. You know, they've got great skills other than the higher flying ones. It's not all about that. But then you kind of feel like the only reason they have a division to themselves is because they're too small to compete with someone bigger, and it definitely makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
And then it just brings up so many other questions, like the reason why Neville left, and it's like because he wasn't getting the competition and put in the spots. I remember that match. I'll always remember that match when he fought Seth Rollins, and everyone thought that Neville would beat him, but foot was on the rope. So there's no like unbelievability in it. People like Neville can be at the top level.
Yeah, it does seem it's all. I think it's just been flawed from the get-go, and yeah, I wonder how much longer that's all going to be around, to be honest with you. In any case, I bet you any money by the time we get to WrestleMania, there'll be nothing available for those guys. Can just see it going that way, but we'll see. Okay, another question here. This is from interesting name, Gonzo. Gonzo was from, I remember that from Sesame Street, but Gonzo says he's talking about the recent news. Guys, what do you think to Jack Swagger trying to hand at MMA? Seems like a good idea. What do you think? And why didn't he have a better run in WWE? Well, so Jack Swagger, for anybody that doesn't know, has signed with Bellator, and that was very recent. He's going to be doing that now. He was, of course, working the indie market, and we was doing the whole We the People gimmick. Even had the music, so I don't know how he managed to get hold of that, but he was licensed to use it. And again, he's now taken up a hand, Matt, in mixed martial arts. But Jack Swagger, of course, he's an All-American, as he kept saying, and he has got that background, so he's got that going for him. But is this a wise move for him? And any thoughts to him in the MMA world itself, Matt?
Well, no doubt he's got the natural gifted abilities to actually apply himself in that kind of division, and he's I would say he's got that kind of discipline and that mentality that he can go quite far in it. It's just, you can never tell when it comes to these kind of things. He's all very individual specific. If he has that kind of mentality and he's putting in 100% every day in his training, sure, he could go far. I mean, he definitely has that kind of strength, deceptive strength, when you look at him and you can see what he does in that ring. But yeah, in regards to why he didn't do too well within the WWE, that will always be a big question mark over his head, because he had the heavyweight title, he had his run, and it's just something about it, isn't it? You either have that X factor or you don't. Like, the fans either like you or they don't. And every time that he got given the reins to go to the top, it just felt like the momentum wasn't there, and people
got that arrest didn't help. Yeah, I mean, he had a couple of times where he won Money in the Bank, didn't he? And cashed in and won, and then again he had that other time with Zeb Coulter, and that was quite a big angle at the time with Del Rio. But yeah, the other thing as well, I just don't know if he got over enough. Like if he certainly needed a voice piece with him. I don't doubt that, but I do think he was a great wrestler. I think he was badly misused. But at the same time, there's a lot of competition for places, and I just think that he made the right decision leaving the WWE, because he would have only been a mid-card guy now anyway. He would have probably just been in that sort of that ballpark. He wouldn't have got, now, by him going to MMA and doing Bellator, if he has a decent enough run, there's potential, mate. When you look at Jinder Mahal, he could always come back and be something again. You know what I mean? So you never know. I mean, there'll be something when Brock goes, where they might say, hey, we want another credible guy to come back and work with our guys. So Jack Swagger, you don't count him out. Good luck for him in the future, no doubt about that. It'll be interesting to see how well he does. Lots of guys trying their hands at MMA. I think of Bobby Lashley as well. Even our old friend Dave Bautista, Matt, had a match in MMA. Didn't last that long, but he was in there. So yeah, these guys they're all sort of having a go. But Jack Swagger, you'd say definitely, in terms of fighting and competition, has done it at that level. But obviously it's interesting to see how he gets on in the world of mixed martial arts. So thank you for your question for that. Okay, here it is, Matt. We knew it was coming. Jimbo, wrestler squad number 9. He's back. And he's talking Roman. Roman as Intercontinental Champion is just a filler while Brock's out, in my opinion. I still don't see